الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. As an introduction, I would like to introduce Sheikh Dr. Gorjian, who is a very high-level professor in different universities in Iran, and he also has a chair in the International University of Al-Mustafa, where he is the head of the Irfan department, the mystical department, alhamdulillah. And he agreed to share his knowledge with us in these days after the conference. He has also written very beautiful masterpieces. For example, there's a book that he has written in 4 volumes on the method of living. And this is something very nice because we do not have an example of a book that tells us how to eat, how to sleep, how to deal with people and so on. Of course, we do have books which are, collations of riwayat in this regard, like, for example, Tahdhib al-Islam, and there are other books of Allama Majlisi, but somebody who writes in our language today, we have very less works like that. And he is a person who wrote a book on that, and he has about perhaps 200 or 300 or even more articles in the internet. Those who understand Farsi will be able to benefit. And inshallah today what we will do is translate his lecture. The lecture that he is going to give, inshallah, within these days would be on the philosophy of imtihan and ibtila, the philosophy of trial and tribulation. That is, trial and tribulation, something good or not, what are the roots of it, what are the effects of it, and so on. I have a very broken kind of Gujarati, which I got from my parents, although they were very good in writing and reading, but this is how we learned. So sometimes I will add some points in Gujarati where I feel that I'll be able to express, because some of these things are technical issues. And I believe that Madrasatul Zahra and a number of ladies here in the Jamaat are above the awam and average. So inshallah we will talk in a language whereby you will benefit more than what you would benefit usually, inshallah. So inshallah we welcome Sheikh Dr. Gorjian with a salawat so that he can start his session, inshallah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. اللهم صل على السلام على المهدي الذي بعد الله عز وجل به الأمم أن يجمع به الكلم ويلم به الشعث وينجز به بعد المؤمنين. عرض احترام دارم به خواهران ایمانی خودم در این خطه از عالم پهناور، محبین اهل بیت، که خیلی برای من ارزشمند و با میمنت و پربرکت هست.
As an introduction, first of all, he conveyed his salams to all of you, and thereafter he starts with conveying salutations to the 12th Holy Imam, Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif, and then he said that he expresses respects to all of you who are in this part of the world.
قبل از شروع صحبتم باید افرادی که بانیان جلساتی مثل جلسات شما هستند رو، چه اونهایی که هستند و چه اونهایی که به رحمت خدا رفتن، از اونها تقدیر و تشکر بشه که مایه برکات زندگی دنیوی و اخرویتون خواهند بود. ما مشابه آنچه که شما در این جلسات دارید رو در ایران عزیز ما و در شهر خودمون از قبل از پیروزی انقلاب اسلامی داشتیم که برکات بسیار زیادی رو با همراه داشتن.
He said, before I begin my session, I would like to thank all those who facilitated such a setup which would actually guarantee or bring about the salvation of this world and in the hereafter as well. And he said that such a setup we did have before even the revolution of the Islamic revolution of Iran. He said in our part of the world where he stays, for example, which is Mazandaran in north of Tehran. He said that such like Madrasatul Zahra, they had another setup. As I was talking to him, he said that setup was known as Ismatiyya. So that was also something like, same like Madrasatul Zahra. When I explained how Madrasatul Zahra is progressing, what do they study and what is their level, you know, the higher level than the ordinary madrasa and all that, he said the same thing. And the barakat that they have in terms of doing tabligh, because many of you are zakirat, for example. So he said we had the same thing, same setup in Iran also, and which had a lot of barakah before the revolution.
و باید اینجا توجه کرد که مطابق روایتی که از وجود مقدس امام صادق علیه السلام هست، اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجهم. شما معماران جامعه دینی و از طرف دیگر مادرانی برای فرزندانشون و به یک معنا مادرانی برای شوهرانتون هستید.
Here he says that I would like to draw a point which is very important, which is a hadith of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam,
اللهم صل علی محمد
in which the Imam says that you are actually the builders of the society and the mothers of the generations and the wives of those people who would actually build the society.
روزی امام صادق علیه السلام یکی از اصحابش با تأخیر چند روزه خدمتش رسید. حضرت سوال کرد که مدتی شما رو زیارت نمی کنم، کجایید؟ چون فرمود خداوند به من فرزند دختری داد و من مدتی کمککار خانم بودم. حضرت فرمود مراقبش باش، خوب تربیت کن که او مادر 2 فرزند هست. این رفت منزل به خانمش گفت که حضرت اینجوری فرمودن 2 فرزند، یعنی آینده فرزند ما مادر شدن 2 فرزنده. درست شد؟ بعد فردا اومد از امام صادق سوال کرد چرا 2 فرزند؟ گفت هم مادر فرزندانشون هستن هم مادر شوهرشون. بله.
He says that he narrates an incident whereby one of the companions of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam who was coming to him, but he came once after some days late. He didn't see a certain companion of his for some days, and then when he came, the Imam asked that why are you late after a number of days. He said that, you know, actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted us with a daughter, and so Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam gave him glad tidings and said that it's very good that you took care of her and take care of her, because she is going to be the mother of 2 sons. So when he went to the wife and conveyed this, the wife said that why 2 sons only? So he came back and he asked the Imam that my wife is asking this way. He said because she is going to be the mother of her son and her husband too. So actually, you know, the wives are not only mothers of the sons, but even the husband as well. This is what it is.
و امام خمینی میفرمود که از دامن زن هست که مرد به معراج میره.
And Imam Khomeini is reported to have said that it is from the bosoms of a woman and of a mother that the child goes towards Mi'raj, towards the higher levels of perfection.
و من با تمام وجودم، با خضوع تمام پای مادرانی که در این جلسه حضور دارند رو به احترام میبوسم.
He said, and I wish to kiss the feet of all the mothers who are present here with all the respect and all the humility and humbleness.
که شمایید که سربازانی برای حضرت صاحب عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف تربیت بکنید.
Allahumma salli ala because it is you who will train the soldiers of the 12th Holy Imam عجل الله فرجه الشریف.
خب برگردیم به بحثمون که به عهده بنده گذاشته شد، راجع به سنت امتحان و ابتلاء الهی است.
Okay, we return to our subject that is on the tradition and sunnah of trial and tribulation.
قرآن کریم راجع به سنت ابتلا و امتحان بیش از 37 مورد واژه ابتلا و واژه مشتقاتش بحث کرده است.
The Holy Quran has spoken about imtihan and ibtila, these two words, in about 37 cases or 37 areas. Either it has used the word ibtila or imtihan or the derivatives of these words.
این امتحان نه زمان میشناسد، نه مکان میشناسد، نه قوم خاصی میشناسد، نه فردی از افراد که حتی انبیا آنان نیز باید امتحان شوند.
This test and trial and tribulation is something which is universal. It doesn't deal with a specific place or specific time or specific kind of people. It is universal. It covers everyone, even the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
قرآن کریم راجع به جناب ابراهیم خلیل سلام الله علیه هم فرمود که و اذا ابتلی ابراهیم ربه بکلمات.
The Holy Quran with regard to Nabi Ibrahim, who is a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, says that وَإِذَا ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ. When Ibrahim was tested by his Lord with some words. So here you find that ibtala is used for Nabi Ibrahim, who is a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
جناب آدم ابوالبشر هم و مادرمان حوا هم مورد ابتلا قرار گرفت و تمام انبیاء الهی، جناب ایوب پیغمبر هم همونطوری که در قرآن کریم اومده و جناب یعقوب پیغمبر، جناب عرض کنم که یوسف پیغمبر و حتی نبی اعظم محمد مصطفی صلی الله علیه و آله و سلم مورد ابتلا قرار گرفت.
Said, if you look at those who were really tested and they went under trial, you find that Hazrat Adam, our father, Hazrat Hawa, our mother, and the prophets like Nabi Ayyub, Nabi Yaqub, Nabi Yusuf, and the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wa sallam.
خب من لازم هست بگم که امتحان این سنت الهی از طرق مختلف اتفاق میفته و رابطه مستقیمی با درجات ایمانی انسان داره.
I would like to stress the fact that imtihan comes about in various ways and in various degrees.
نباید با سنت امتحان به شکل خرافی برخورد کرد، باید اندیشمندانه با او برخورد کرد.
we should not deal with this traditional, this godly traditional in a way whereby we think that this is all things which are made up. Rather, we should look at it from an intellectual point of view and we should think about its reality.
اگر با فلسفه ابتلا و امتحان آشنا بشیم، این رو نه به عنوان یک چالش بلکه به عنوان یک در واقع دستاورد و فرصتی برای ارتقاء درجه با سنت امتحان باید مواجه بشیم.
If we think about the the tradition, the godly tradition of imtihan and ibtila, we should not deal it in such a way that it is something which is a difficulty for us, but rather it is an opportunity for us to progress to higher levels of perfection.
حضرت زینب کبری سلام الله علیها میتونست با امتحان سختی که براش اتفاق افتاد تسلیم بشه و به تعبیر ما فارسا قافیه رو ببازه و در اون شکل دین به این نحوی که به دست ما رسید نرسد.
Said that it is possible that Bibi Zainab alayha salam, with all the trials and tribulations that she came across, would surrender in such a way that the religion that we have would not come to us the way it has come due to her efforts.
و در قرآن کریم داره که ما من نبی الا اذا تمنا القى الشیطان فی امنیته، یعنی هیچ پیغمبری نبود در عالم هستی مگر آن که هر وقت میخواست سیر صعود به سوی خداوند را داشته باشه، شیطان به عنوان کسی اراده کرده بود در اونها اثرگذار بشه، گرچه توانش را نداشت به حول قوه الهی.
Thereafter, Dr. Gorjian talks about a verse of the Holy Quran, the meaning of which is that there was no prophet who wanted to go to the higher levels except that Shaitan wanted to impede his way, but it would not be able to do it.
خب این که گفتم برخورد خرافی کردن، طرف گاهی اوقات با سنت امتحان تسلیم میشه، بگیم خب من سرم همین میبایست باشه و قضا و قدر من این بود و در اونجا به جای اینکه این چالش رو وسیله‌ای برای تبدیل به فرصت کردن باشه، برگشت بکنه زمینه افت خودش رو ایجاد میکنه و رشد نخواهد کرد و آثار زیانباری در زندگیش خواهد داشت.
A person may tackle and deal with the problem in a way where he says that these things are not realities, they are just made up, and if that was the case, then he would actually, instead of going to the higher levels, he would prepare the ground for actually going down to his downfall. Instead of knowing that this is actually an opportunity to go to the higher levels, he says, no, these things are made up stories, and therefore he takes it and he said, this, I am destined to be like that, and this prepares to his downfall.
در هیچ نظام آموزشی عالم و یا پژوهشی عالم به کسی که در امتحانات شرکت نکنه و قبول نشه درجه علمی اعطا نخواهد شد.
He says that in no institution in the world, if you see that whenever a person does not give an exam or doesn't sit for a trial, he would not get any kind of degree or a station. No institute is like that who would give a degree or station without imtihan.
هیچ مادری مثل شماها نمیاید بگید که نظام آموزشی نباید فرزندم رو امتحان بکنه و همینجوری مدرک بهش بده بره بالا.
No mother among you would say that any education setup can not give any kind of degree to my children who are studying in that institute. Like if we have an institute whereby your son or your daughter is studying, and they don't give any kind of remuneration, they don't actually test the person properly, you would not agree to that, because you'll say that this person, that my son has not been tested well. Said every institute has that, and even the mother will not accept an institute which does not test the children.
و لذا همه پدران و مادران با امتحان فرزند برخورد ارتقایی دارن و خود فرزند اگر از امتحان فرار بکنه به نجات و پیروزی نخواهد رسید، اما اگر به امتحان تن در بده و با اراده خودش با امتحان خوب پیروز بشه و بیرون بیاد، موجب ارتقاء درجه او خواهد بود.
It says all the parents actually, when they look at the tests that are given to their children, they look at it as a kind of, a means for their elevation. And if those children were not to give tests and they would not go through the different tests, they would not come to higher levels of educational perfection.
من چند تا مبحث فلسفی رو که خیلی سنگینه اما خیلی سبک و نرم که به گونه‌ای که خواهران من در این قسمت عالم و مادران من در اینجا استفاده کنن عرض کنم.
He says that he would like to propound and present some philosophical issues which are, we can say, fundamentals regarding this subject, but in a very simple language.
ما هستیمون منحصر به این عالم ماده نیست، بلکه عوالم متعددی داریم. به تعبیر امام باقر علیه السلام کل این عالم ماده که حلقة ملغاة فی البیضاء، درست مثل یک انگشتری است در یک صحرای بی حصر و حد.
One of the things that he wants to stress is that this existence should not be limited to this material world. And as Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam says that, if you look at the entire realm of existence, and this material realm, it is like a ring in a very huge land, a small ring that you find in a huge land. This is how this material world is, with all the galaxies that it has.
و لذا در قرآن کریم اومده که انسان مؤمن وقتی انشاءالله بهشت بره، منزل او به اندازه بی نهایت جا داره و تمام انسانهای عالم بهشت در او مهمان بشن، بازم خونهش جا داره، چون عوالم بالا خیلی وسیعه.
He says that is why the Quran, when it mentions the abode of a mu'min in the hereafter, he mentions that it is arduha ka'ard as-samawati wal-ard. That his all the inhabitants of this world can come to his house. Why? Because those realms are extremely vast, more vast than this realm that we are talking of. This is just a material realm.
و اگر عالم منحصر در عالم ماده بود، ابتلا و آزمایش به ضرر انسان بود، اما عالم منحصر در عالم ماده و زمین نیست.
And if actually the whole reality of the universe would only be this material realm, then the philosophy, there would not be any use of imtihan and ibtila, the tests and trials a person is going, because the reality is only in this world, not beyond that. But the reality is, there is a reality beyond this world as well.
و لذا امام حسین صلوات الله سلام علیه در شب تاسوعا وقتی آیه‌ای میخواد بخونه، آیه ابتلا رو به زبان میاره، ولا یحسبن الذین کفروا انما نملی لهم خیر لانفسهم، انما نملی لهم خیر لانفسهم، انما نملی لهم لیزدادوا اثما. ولا یحسبن الذین کفروا انما نملی لهم خیر لانفسهم. افرادی که کافر شدن مپندارند که اگر به آنان فرصتی داده شد برای اینه که خیر و به نفعشونه، نه، انما نملی لهم لیزدادوا اثما. به اینها زمان دادیم، فرصت دادیم، مکنت اقتصادی و مالی دادیم تا اینکه چیکار کنن؟ گناهاشون بیشتر بشه کفار.
He said that is why you find that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam on the 9th night, the Tasu'a night, recites this verse of the Quran, وَلَا يَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ خَيْرًا لِأَنفُسِهِمْ إِنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ لِيَزْدَادُوا إِثْمًا, meaning that those who are disbelievers should not conjecture that we are giving them opportunity and this opportunity is good for them. For them. إِنَّمَا نُمْلِي لَهُمْ لِيَزْدَادُوا إِثْمًا, we are giving the opportunity so that they can increase in their sins while they are enjoying this world. It's not that this opportunity is good for them. No, it's bad for them. They think that it's good for them.
از طرفی هم انسان ها یک حیوان معمولی نیستن که فقط بخورن بخوابن و سعه وجودیشون همینجا باشه، بلکه انسان تا بی‌نهایت راه داره. پس آزمایشات برای اینه که انسان از مرحله خاکی به مرحله آسمانی راه پیدا بکنه.
On the other hand, he says that human beings are not only this physical form who needs eating and sleeping and so on like animals. Rather, it has an ability to soar towards infinite perfection, right? And this is what one should realize, that the human beings is not for just eating, drinking and all that, but rather, and this imtihan and ibtila is kind of a means that would make the human being go to the higher levels.
ارزش‌های انسانی هم منحصر در خوردن و خوابیدن و سوار ماشین شدن و منزل بزرگ داشتن و لباس برتر داشتن نیست، بلکه برخی ارزش‌های معنوی آنقدر زیاده که انسان برای او همه اینها رو راضیه بده و به مثل سید الشهدا صلوات الله علیه به شهادت برسه.
Then he says that values are not these physical values only of having a nice car, a nice house, eating good food and all that. That they are so beautiful, meaningful values that have so much value that a person is ready to give everything of his for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and attaining those higher values. The way Sayyid al-Shuhada, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, sacrificed himself and his family to reach those higher values.
من یه نکته رو بخوام عرض کنم، این که سنت ابتلا فقط و فقط گاه به سختگیری نیست و ندادن نیست، بلکه گاه به دادن نعمت هست.
So I would like to allude to a point which is very interesting, that imtihan and ibtila is not only by giving difficulties and bringing those difficult circumstances or depriving you from the good things. Rather, sometimes it is by giving you good things and giving you the beauties of the world, for example.
قرآن کریم فرمود فَأَمَّا الْإِنسَانُ إِذَا مَبْتَلَاهُ رَبُّهُ فَأَكْرَمَهُ وَنَعَّمَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَكْرَمَنِ.
The Holy Quran says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَمَّا الْإِنسَانِ إِذَا مَبْتَلَاهُ رَبُّهُ فَأَكْرَمَهُ وَنَعَّمَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَكْرَمَنِ. When the human being is being tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and is given good things, and he says that God has actually ennobled me, akramani.
گاهی با دادن نعمت آزمایش میشیم، گاه از با گرفتن نعمت آزمایش میشیم.
Sometimes we are tested by having given a ni'mah by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and sometimes we are tested by being deprived from a ni'mah of Allah.
و آیه بعدی اینه که و اما اذا مبتلاه ربه فقدر علیه رزقه. اینجا میفرماد که فیقول ربی اهانن.
The verse that we just quoted, what continuity of it is وَأَمَّا إِذَا مَبْتَلَى رَبُّهُ فَقَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَهَانًا. But when the human being's rizq is actually determined and قَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ, it is shortened, it is actually made less. فَقَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَهَانًا. After that he says that God has humiliated me by giving me less rizq.
گاهی خداوند به انسان سلامتی میده و این سلامتی گاهی موجب آزمایشه. نگاه کنه آیا شاکر هست یا نیست.
Sometimes by giving him a sound health, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing him that is he a person who is thankful or not.
و گاهی به انسان مریضی میده و میخواد نگاه کنه که آیا در این مریضی صابر هست یا نه.
And sometimes he gives him sickness and he wants to test him that whether he is patient or not.
در لغت اومده که وقتی میگه که ابتلیت فلانن یعنی او را آزمایشش کردم تا با اون آزمایش آگاهی پیدا کنم جایگاهش را.
In the lexical texts, when we say ibtalaytu shakhsan, that for example, it means that I tested a person so that I know whether ibtalaytu shakhsan.
اگر ابتلای شخص فلانه آزمایشش کردم تا جایگاهش رو ببرم بالا، به عبارتی به او آگاهی بدم که چقدر ارزش دارد.
So that I show him what value does he have, what station does he have.
بله. در اینجا آزمایش خدا بشر رو میشه چند جور تفسیر کرد. همه آزمایشات اگر یک معلمی بخواد دانش آموزش رو امتحان کنه برای اینی که جهل خودش رو برطرف کنه، اما این در رابطه با خداوند معنایی نداره. بخواد ترجمه کنید بقیه.
The purpose of testing are various. For example, one of the purpose of testing is to know how much the person knows and what is his station, for example. But with regard to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we cannot say that because Allah knows everything.
و گاهی اوقات آزمایش بکنه نگاه کنه که خود شخص وسیله‌ای برای ارتقاء وجودیش قرار میده یا نه آزمایش رو.
Sometimes a person is tested so that it is known that whether he takes that test as a means to make him progress or not, to make himself develop or not.
گاهی اوقات هم برای آنه که اتمام حجت به بشر بشه.
Sometimes a test is given so that there is itmam al-hujjah, that the proof is complete for the person himself.
و گاهی اوقات هم برای اینه که تمرین رشد انسان قرار بده.
And sometimes a test is given so that the person is trained so that he can gain perfection.
یه داستانی رو که از روانشناسا گفت اون خوبه بگم. میگفت دو برادری که دوقلوی همسانند، اینها رو در یک شرایط مساوی اینها رو آزمایش سخت قرار بدن، اما یکی رو با یک بینش دیگری رو با بینش دیگر اثرات متفاوت خواهد داشت.
He wants to mention an anecdote from psychology. He said that, for example, we have twins who are given the same test but in different situations with different outlooks.
این دو برادر رو در شرایط مساوی به یکی گفتن که پشت سر هم به او مشکلات جسمی وارد می‌کردن، به او القا می‌کردن این یک نوع ورزشه و قراره که قوی بشی. دیگری رو همین عذاب‌های بدنی رو بهش میگفتن که این برای اینکه شما رو ادب کنیم و شما رو عذاب بدیم تا اینکه حالیت بشه چه کردی.
I just made a short mistake in the previous thing that he said. The same situation is given to the twins, right? But with different outlooks. The outlooks that he says is, for example, one of them is told that we are actually giving you, for example, both of them are tortured in one way, physically. One is told that we are not torturing you, actually we are training you to have a very physical, good body. The other one is told that, because you did bad, we are torturing you and we are giving you adhab.
این اولی برادر اولی که دو قلوی همسان بودن بعدن یک ورزشکار بزرگی درست شد. دومی تو سریخوری که تو جامعه فکر میکرد که این چیزی بود که میباید سرش بیاد و فرد پایین جامعه قرار گرفت.
Said these twins, if you go and see, the one who was told that this is for your upkeep and all that, would be a very strong personality in the society, because these things which are given, the pressure of the body, psychologically is making him up also and making him strong, and he sees that. But the other one, because of thinking that this is the adhab that he is getting, will not be a very successful person in the society. Both are getting the same thing, if you go and see. The same pressure, the same adhab, but both have a different outlook. That one's outlook is that he is getting, it's building him. The other one, no, they are punishing him because of what he did.
پس نوع نگرش ما، نوع نگاه ما، نوع بینش ما با در برخورد با این آزمایشات فرق خواهد داشت.
Therefore, he says this is an example for us to understand that, the kind of our outlook about these, what imtihan and ibtila, these what tests and trials would be different depending on our outlook.
قرآن کریم در سوره محمد صلی الله علیه و آله و سلم، اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجهم، در آیه 31 فرمود که ولنبلونکم حتی نعلم المجاهدین منکم و الصابرین و نبلو اخبارکم. این خیلی نبلو اخبارکم، اینجا میفرماد که ما اومدیم انسانها رو آزمایش کردیم تا بفهمیم اونهایی که مجاهده در راه خدا هستند و آنهایی که راحت طلبند چقدر با همدیگر فرق دارند. حتی نعلم المجاهدین و الصابرین و نبلو احبارهم احبارهم، بله، احبارکم،
أحبار يا أخبار.
أخبار أخبار.
And then he mentions a verse of the Quran in chapter Muhammad, verse number 31, whereby Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ, verily we will test you, حَتَّى نَعْلَمْ مِنْكُمْ الْمُجَاهِدِينَ وَالصَّابِرِينَ, until we know who is patient among you and who are those who really struggle in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَنَبْلُوا أَخْبَارَكُمْ, and so that your what is happening to you comes apparent. Alright, so here he says actually it depends on the kind of your outlook in facing these trials and tribulations. If you face these trials and tribulations with sabr and mujahada, then you will be actually victorious. But those who do not face it in that way and consider these are just punishments from God and that everything is finished and all that, they would really suffer in life.
آیه دیگه داریم که وَلَيَبْتِيَ اللَّهُ مَا فِي صُدُورِكُمْ، لَيَبْتَلِيَ اللَّهُ مَا فِي صُدُورِكُمْ، یعنی ابتلا کردن آنچه که در قلوب انسان ها هست. بعضی هستن که این ابتلاء در قلوب رو خیلی پذیران نیستن. این عبارت رو که میگه که و لا یبتلی الله ما فی صدورکم، این مهمه. و لا یمحص، برای اینکه خداوند تمحیص کنه، تلخیص کنه.
Another verse of the Quran says وَلَا يَبْتَلِيَ اللَّهُ مَا فِي صُدُورِكُمْ وَلِيُمَحِّصَكُمْ.
وَلِيُمَحِّصَ مَا فِي قُلُوبِكُم.
مَا فِي قُلُوبِكُم. That indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will test what is in your hearts and will sift what is in your hearts. This the first is sudur. Sudur actually means chests, and qulub is hearts. Actually, it talks about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sifting your hearts and knowing what is the truth of what is there in your hearts.
من به عنوان مثال عرض کنم تمحیص و تلخیص و تخلیص رو عرب جایی به کار میبره که مثلا شما یک طلایی دارید، این سنگ اول خردریزه های زیاد بیخودی داره، همش طلا نیست، عیارش پایینه، این فرد طلاساز میبره در داخل آتش، نمیخواد در اینجا بر علیه این طلا و یا سنگ فعالیت کنه، میخواد درجه عیار او رو بالا بیاره.
He wants to give an example of tamhis. He says, whenever you want gold, for example, you want that gold itself with the high carats, for example, you will put it in the fire so that you get what is the true gold from what is not the true gold.
بله. و صفات انسان به تنهایی نمیتونه مایه رشد انسان باشه، حتما باید در کوره آزمایش به تعبیر کریمه قرآن که فرمود که ما اینا را دادیم تا اینکه ما فی قلوبکم برای خودتون هم آشکار بشه.
He said the attributes of the human being are not sufficient. There must be a test that they should go through so that they know their reality. Just by knowing that, okay, I have these many sifat, these many attributes of perfection, so I know myself. He said, no, that is not sufficient. There must be a trial and tribulation whereby a person knows that in reality what is his station.
و وجود مقدس سید الشهدا هم در روز عاشورا فرمود که الناس عبید الدنیا و الدین لعق علی السنتهم یحوطونه ما درت معایشهم فاذا محسوا بالبلاء قلت دیانون. انسانها بنده های دنیا هم، بس بسیار از انسان ها برده های دنیا هم. الناس عبید الدنیا و دین لعق علی السنتهم. ادعای دینداری زیاد میکنن، اما وقتی دوچار آزمایش بشن تازه معلوم میشه دیندار و غیر دیندار که خواهد بود.
Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam has a very famous statement on the day of Ashura. He said the human beings are servants of the world and there are a lot of religious claimants, right? He said, but when they are actually tried, إِذَا مُحِّسُوا بِالْبَلَاء, when they are actually sifted and tried, قَلَّتْ دَيَّانُونَ, you'll find very less religious people.
قرآن کریم می‌فرماید که ما سنت آزمایش رو داریم برای چی؟ تا اینکه انسان‌هایی که عمل احسن انجام میدن معلوم میشه. ما یه عمل داریم، عمل بده، یه عمل خوبه، یه عمل احسنه. لیبلوکم ایکم احسن عملا.
He said one of the purposes of test as mentioned in the Holy Quran is that who has the best of actions. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. So actually one of the purposes of trial and tribulation is that this becomes apparent in you. Not that Allah doesn't know who is best in action, but by your actions, by the trial and tribulation that you go through, a person will be able to know who is best in action, who has the most beautiful action.
و در سوره کهف آیه 7 فرمود که انا جعلنا ما علی الارض زینة لها لنبلوهم ایهم احسن عملا. ما آنچه که در روی زمین قرار دادیم، آنچه که در روی زمین از خورد و خوراک و دار و درخت و پدر و مادر و فرزند و همه اینها به عنوان ما علی الارض دیگه، خب اینها به عنوان چی هم؟ زینتاً لها، برای زمین و اهل زمین زینته. برای چی؟ لیبلوهم ایهم احسن عملا.
Another verse that also shows that why test is, in fact, in this verse talks about the different kinds of ni'mah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives in the earth. He says, إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا مَا عَلَى الْأَرْضِ زِينَةً لَهَا لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. That even these different ni'mah that are given to us on earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we gave these as a beauty for them, zinatan laha. Why did we give this to the human beings and to the people of the earth? So that we test you, which one among you is the best in action.
ما در رابطه با انبیا یه آیه در رابطه با جناب ابراهیم خلیل سلام الله علیه آوردیم که اذا ابتلا ابراهیم ربه بکلمات. آیات زیاد دیگه ای داریم در رابطه با حضرت سلیمان، داریم که ولقد فتنا سلیمان. ما سلیمان رو هم چیکار کردیم؟ آزمایشش کردیم. و به جناب موسی کلمه میگه و فتناک فتونا. جناب موسی رو هم همین کار رو کردیم باهاش. به پیامبر گرامی اسلام داره که ولقد فتنا الذین من قبلهم. ما قبل از اسلام هم همین کارا رو کردیم. در دو فرعون هم داره که ولقد فتنا قبلهم قوم فرعون و جاءهم رسول کریم. یا در تو بنی اسرائیل داره که اذ نجیناکم من آل فرعون یسومونکم سوء العذاب یذبحون ابناءکم و یستحیون نساءکم و فی ذلکم بلاء من ربکم. خلاصه فقط نکته بعدی در رابطه طالوت هم همین داره که داره که فلما فصل طالوت بالجنود قال ان الله مبتلیکم بنهر. اینا دونه دونه از آیاتی است که راجع به فتنه هست.
He talks about other verses that talk about fitna, and fitna is also another word that is used for test and trial. So we should not be deceived to say fitna is something which is bad. No, fitna itself, the word fitna means trial and tribulation. So he gives a number of examples. I could not write everything, but then whatever I have been able to. For example, with regard to Sulaiman, he says, Fatanna Sulaimana. We actually tried and gave a test to Nabi Sulaiman, being a prophet of Allah, but still the test is given so that he gets higher levels. The way Nabi Ibrahim, when he was tested, then he became to the stage of imama, which is a very high level of perfection. Or for example, with regard to Nabi Musa also, fatannakum futuna, that we tried you a specific trial before he was even made a prophet. And he talks about the qawm of Fir'aun also. They were also tried. So he talks of a number of verses whereby the word fitna is used, which talks about trial and tribulation of great prophets and people who believed in these prophets as well.
خب من بحث خیلی طولانی هست، من مقدار فعلا اکتفا میکنم. اگر سوال و پاسخی هست با افتخار در حد توانم در خدمت شما هستم.
Alright, this session itself would be equal to about 5 or 6 sessions because this is just a quick translation, alright? And those who know Gujarati, and I really wanted to say something in Gujarati, but the way the pace was going on was very fast, and I needed some time to give this tahleel in Gujarati. So even you are allowed to ask any question in Gujarati, he will respond, I'll talk to him, and we'll translate. But any other person on this subject, whatever he's spoken so far, this is going to continue because there is a lot furu'at on that. Inshallah, we'll talk about it. But if you have any questions with regard to what we have spoken today, inshallah.
شما انگلیسی صحبت کن، من گجراتی حرف بزنم.
So I speak in English and he'll translate in Gujarati.